I would like to ask you a question about the picture that I have in front of me, and I'm going to turn the camera so that you guys can see it as well. And then if you could kind of give me an overview.
Absolutely.
But let me just go ahead and walk over there, and this camera will still be on. I'll change that camera.
All right. So this picture was taken during, I was on with my wife, Christy, my bride, our 25th wedding anniversary. It was one of those tour cruises to Alaska. And so during that time, one of the stops was in a place called Tahkeetna. And Tahkeetna is the sled dog capital of the world, and where sled dogs are raised and trained for the Iditarod. So the Iditarod is referred to as the last great race. It's 938 miles from Anchorage to Nome, and it's the temperatures could be negative 100 degrees, gale force winds going through literally over a frozen river, just all the elements that you can imagine that you're having to fight against. Okay, so we're at the Sundog Kennel, and these were world-class mushers that were raising these dogs. And we had a chance to hold some sled dog puppies.
Yeah.
And so this particular picture was taken by my wife, and I was holding this little puppy right up next to me. And as I was holding this puppy, really began to realize that this puppy's parents, more than likely, had already run the Iditarod, this incredible race. And that as I held this puppy, began to also realize that this little puppy that was licking me with puppy breath very likely would also run the Iditarod.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it would have to be trained. It would have to have all the right diet. Everybody would have to be around to, the coaching and everything to help make that happen. But what ultimately, I was holding a future champion.
Yeah.
Right here. And so just kind of in that moment, I really felt in that still small voice, the Lord speaking to me that about potential, and that I did have a champion. And it was a moment that would change my life, honestly, for the rest of my life. I began to see my children differently. I began to see my employees at Allegasco differently. And it all comes back to potential and seeing the potential, the value in others, and pulling that champion out of them. In 2000 and I guess it was 17. It was. I was chosen as one of the top 50 over 50 by Positive Maturity. I don't bring that up to brag. It was very honored to be able to do that. But I did bring it up to say this. They wanted a quote from everybody.
Yeah.
Like get up early, stay late, that's kind of what everybody was saying. Not to knock my other fellow honorees, but mine was different. Okay. And mine was this. And at the time I was serving those with disabilities totally. Now I'm really in two worlds, at-risk and homeless children and families, and obviously Union Village.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I said, that individuals with a disability are made in the image of Almighty God with immeasurable value and great purpose. And so when I had this moment, it was that we have to see that champion, see the value, the respect, and help them be all that they can be. Just help give them the pieces that they can succeed, and then let them go.
Yeah.
And so, this photo I had blown up, and but it was a part of my life where I began to see that we do all have the ability to believe in somebody and help them in a little way or a big way, and release them to be all that they can be.
And sometimes that's all that's needed to kickstart that process, is someone just saying, you know what, I believe in you. You can do this. If you need a little bit of help, just let me know. Or like you've done in your mentoring.
No doubt. When I was, the last time I was at United Ability in the Gone for Good, back in the back, and I'm sure you've been there. And I was taking Fitzgerald Washington on a tour with Brian Beta, who was the chair of United Ability. And I had not been there for a little bit. And as I walked through, participants, employees were running across the room and embracing me.
Yeah.
Why? Because I had valued them when I was there. And Dr. E modeled that. Okay. But they recognized the face, and they recognized that I had valued them. Mm. And, Fitzgerald was looking, and, it was an exciting moment. And I think that, so here I'm Mr. Doug, and these girls that have been through trauma and neglect and removed from their homes, I believe in them.
Yeah.
And actually my first week here, and I went to the cottage and had dinner with that first group. And, what do you say? And ultimately what I said was, I know you just met me. You heard about me. And I just need you to trust me this much, just this much, that I'm for you. That's all I need you to do. And I think we have to be for people. And we have to be for people with disabilities. Mm-hmm. We have to be for homeless folks. We have to be for children. In all of these cases, these are vulnerable people groups.
Yeah.
And so we're all called, different organizations have different callings. This is ours. But we have a really cool opportunity to also impact those with the disabilities as well.
Yeah. And you have to see that potential in everybody and have that expectation that they can do it. And you'll see marvels happen there.
No question.
Mr. Marshall, I appreciate your time this morning and spending it with Alabama Care and letting us get to know you and everything that you've done and your continued work here at the Presbyterian Home for Children.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's such an honor to have you and Alabama Care here, at the home.
We appreciate it.
It's a special place, and we enjoyed being able to share the time here together.
Well, you guys aren't going to get to see it, but we're going to do a little behind the scenes tour. And then do a follow-up broadcast, hopefully on the Union Village and also with Mr. Lucas.
Sounds great.
In the future. Mr. Marshall, thank you once again. And if we will both look actually at this camera, I'll just say, see you guys next time.
You got it.